Today's topic is a pretty interesting one, and it's about the fact that being negative or trying to tear other people down will not actually make you happy, and if anything, it will actually make you very miserable in the long term. There's probably people watching here that have been in that situation. I've been there myself as well. I think for me, the biggest thing that struck out to me was especially like on the internet, right? The internet is full of negativity, it's full of hate. If you look at the news and a fair few channels and things like that, I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me is the fact that all those sort of channels and the news, if they make it more negative, people are going to be drawn towards that. Because if it spikes more emotions in people, they're actually going to be drawn towards it. If it's really mellow and always positive all the time, people are not actually going to be drawn to that, which is fairly interesting when you think about it, right? So there's a channel, you potentially know about him. His name's Greg Doucette. If you don't know who he is, he's a fitness YouTuber who basically exposes people for not being natural. This guy, right, his blood pressure must be fucking through the roof, because he makes all these videos just basically trying to expose people being negative about them, which to me is like, it's just a sad way to live your life. Like, it's not, it can't be that fulfilling. And this guy, he literally has to wake up in the morning and think, okay, who am I going to attack? Who am I going to hate? Like, that must be just a miserable way to live your life. In the same way that, like, you know, politicians do this to each other and stuff like that. I don't really watch the news at all, to be honest. Like, people tell me that I should, but ever since I stopped watching the news, like, I actually became a more positive person. And there was one day where there was a debate that was on in the, like, something like the Senate in Australia or the House of Reps. And you basically just look at these guys and these two sort of like party leaders are just attacking each other and basically being like, oh no, like, you know, you made this argument about this, but like you forgot about black people or whatever it may be. And it was hilarious to watch, because I was like, these guys' lives must be fucking miserable. Like, sure, they make a bit of money from it. I don't even think politicians make that much money, to be honest with you. Like, maybe they do at the very, very high end, but the low end, probably not. I could be wrong about that though. But anyways, they were just attacking each other and basically trying to pick each other's arguments. And I'm like, what a miserable way to live your life. Which is why I think the political system is a joke, first of all. But that's a topic for another time. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this video, but it's fine. It's a topic that needs to be mentioned. Not just that, but also, like, it's just, like, it can't be fun. Like, I'm going to give some personal examples now about what I've done in the past. Like, I've messed up quite a few times. There was a really good friend of mine that I had a bit of a falling out with a few years ago. Like, him and I are really good friends now. He's probably never going to watch this, but I remember we had a bit of a falling out and we had some disagreements about a few things. And then I basically ended up talking to his ex-girlfriend at the time, in the hopes that, you know, I'd be able to smash her. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly why I did it, right? And I was sort of talking negatively about this guy, and she hated his guts as well, which was pretty funny. Even though this guy honestly did nothing wrong. Like, he'll say that he did because he's humble, but he genuinely didn't. Right. So anyways, I ended up just being really, really negative towards him, like sending him a lot of hate for no reason either. And in the hopes that it would get me a bit of validation from this girl and, you know, validation from other people. But looking back on it, it was just a miserable way to live my life. And then I spoke to him again like a year later, and I was like, mate, I'm so sorry. And he was genuinely like shocked, or in a way, not like shocked, but he was just so like cool about it. He was like, nah man, it's fine. He's like, I don't care. And I thought, wow, like this guy, like I literally have been intentionally trying to tear him down for the past year or 6 months. You know, because I let myself get manipulated. Like, anyways, I was a bit of a bitch, but yeah, intentionally trying to tear this guy down, and he he was there for me the whole time. And every time I went back to him, he was just there. And I thought, wow, this guy is like, I've been such an asshole to him, yet he's always been there for me and he's always been positive, which made me realize like what I went through to try and get with this girl, to try and get validation from others, was not worth it. It just wasn't. And I'm glad that I went through that, just to look back on it now and say, okay, why did I do that? I have a more recent example as well, where with a friend of mine that I worked with, a guy that I've known for a few years. Again, I will say he does things that annoy me. You know, we're not all perfect, but that's on me to sort of realize that and actually give him a bit of a talking to one-on-one and just being like, hey man, like, you know, next time don't do that, right? Which is fair enough, because I didn't do that, and then I sort of let it blow up, and then again I got into a situation where, you know, I was intentionally trying to tear this guy down and I was hating him the whole time, and it was only the other day that him and I actually spoke to each other again and sort of was like, hey, like what happened in the past, like it was actually quite funny. We sort of laughed about it in a way, and people that actually thought we hated each other were sort of looking at us just talking to each other as friends again, and they were like, they were almost shocked by it and struck by it, and that's where like, and now looking back on it, like obviously we had to go through those moments to then become better friends in the long term, but at the same time, like the process that I went through of trying to tear them down made me feel horrible inside. Like, never did it make me feel good once. Maybe it did because I got a little bit of validation from other people that didn't like that person, and that was the only real time that I actually felt like I got validation. But in the long term, like, it was just miserable. Like, it was not fun. And even then, you start to sort of see through those people anyway. So those people that are manipulating you, saying, yeah, like, I hate this person, to get that validation, you would actually end up seeing through those people, and then eventually you actually distance yourself from them, because then you realize they're actually negative people and they're not the kind of people you want to be around. Whereas the people that, you know, in the first place that you hated and tried to tear them down, maybe because you were jealous of them. I don't know if I necessarily was jealous. Maybe I was. To be honest, yeah, that's probably the main reason. Jealous what of? Who knows? That's something that I have to write about and figure out. But even then, like, looking back beyond all of that, like, it's those other people that I actually had to distance myself from, because then that actually made my friendship with my friends later on a lot better. So my biggest thing is, I think, trying to tear people down will not make you happy. You can live your life like that. Like, that's not gonna, you know, people can do that if they want. There's people that actively try and tear me down. They still haven't though, but that's fine. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. I think the biggest thing to say, the biggest thing is just saying that it's not gonna make you happy. Like, if you wanna go for it, by all means, go for it. But you'll probably look back at me telling you this and say, oh yeah, you know what, was it really worth it in the end? Probably not. And I sort of want to make a vow to myself and say, okay, like, from now on, I'm not going to negatively try and tear people down, but actually just try and be positive around people, because, you know, you can be your own sort of person, but not be negative about it. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.